I recorded this interview yesterday with Carlo on Instagram, Fat Gomez, a wonderful illustrator, creative mind, skateboarder, just all around really talented, interesting man. It was a real treat talking to him. He was calling in from Italy. And I realized afterwards that I completely forgot to record the introduction that I was going to, or forgot to say the introduction that I was going to, because when you're doing interviews, um, at least for me, you're really locked in, and you just have complete tunnel vision. Anything outside of my display, I should probably do it on like the edges of the camera. Oh, what a pro! What a pro! You see that? Anything that's not within those boundaries just doesn't really exist. Um, So I just completely forgot to do the introduction, but who cares? So I think it was an amazing conversation. I'm really happy with it. I think it's the best interview I've done. I think it is we didn't even talk very much about Carlo's illustrations, which was the thing, of course, I thought we were going to focus on most. But early on, I ended up bringing up skateboarding. And then we just ran from there, man, for like 30, 40 minutes. We just had a really beautiful discussion about skateboarding, its place in Italy, its place in history, its interaction with the urban environment. I mean, all these things that, to me, it was just wonderful, right? And when you write, I have the list of questions I wrote down. I got through like half of them. But to me, that's just amazing because, Carlo has so much to say, and has just such a beautiful way of viewing the world that, just so happened that one of the questions I asked, on skating turned into this whole really beautiful long discussion. So I think it was a really wonderful interview in that way, and I hope you like it. I realize I'm scratching my forehead right before the interview starts. My skin has that. Like I scratch it and then it just turns red immediately. I'm like, ah, shit. But well,
Oh
what are you
yeah,
gonna do?
yeah. I get it.
Um,
I get it.
yeah. So with that, you ready to dive right in?
Yeah,
So something I'm wondering you can tell me about. You said you're in Trevino right now. Is that right?
yeah.
When I looked up Trevino just very briefly, and the first thing that came to mind was the TCBF, and I'm wondering what can you tell me about something like that? The comic book festival in town. I mean, being from Trevino's a really small town, right? But they still have this incredible comic book festival. It's running like 20 years. Am I right? I mean, what can you
Yes.
what can you tell me about that? As someone growing up there, what does it mean to have an event like that in town?
Okay, so yeah. As you told me, Treviso, it's a really really small city. It's like for for a non-Italy person, I don't know how to make them understand. It's like the city center. You can walk in 15 minutes. You can be from side A to side B. So and it's like medieval kind of Italian city. And there's a lot of them, especially in the north of Italy. And I mean, the TCBF it's an amazing and also a rare opportunity in Treviso because I don't want to talk too much bad about my hometown, but of course, at the same time, I'm gonna do it. uh, it's it's a really really specific city. Like, of course, there's a lot of cultural stuff happening, but it's a small city. It's not a really progressive city. Um, People tend to think a lot about money there because there's a lot of money circulating. There's a lot of people who has money. So, like, it's kind of I will probably misspell it, but it's like a bourgeois city. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
bourgeois. Yeah.
And bourgeois people at least in Treviso, usually don't give a shit about comics. So the TCBF, it's a really rare event actually, and it kind of blows my mind that we are now, if I am not mistaken, at the 22 edition this year. This year will be the 22, 22nd edition. Yeah, sorry. Sometimes my English.
No, you're doing great.
Um, and yeah, also the amazing part is not only that there's like this festival in Treviso, which is one of the most important in Italy because they also have like um trophies for comic books, so like there's all that part, but also because it attracts people from really outside Europe, the like big names, usually like in the underground comics, and yeah, I would say more like underground comics, not like really super pop comic. There was like 1 year there was Jesse Jacobs, which is, if I'm not mistaken, from Canada. I don't remember the city, but whatever. And there was also one of my favorite that is Tetsunori Tawaraya. I'm sorry if I'm misspelling his name. I'm bad at names, but he's from Japan. I think he lives in the US now, if again I'm not mistaken. So yeah, this feels like almost like a mirage in the city because it happens like in the end of September every year, and also there's like all the colleagues from all Italy coming around. So I'm in my hometown. There's all these people that I usually met outside because I'm not living there. It's like 10 years that I'm not living in my hometown. So usually I used to meet these people in other cities, in other places, and meet them in my city. It feels almost unreal. Like, why the fuck are you here? Like, there's nothing, but the the organization is super cool. The guys and the girls are super professional. They they love their jobs. They love what they're doing. So this is a really really positive stuff for the city. That usually it's not keen to do something like that. So they kind of established themselves. I think like they went so big that it's like you can't take them away from them. You know what I mean? And it's like a breath of fresh air in the whole year. Um, of course, there's like some other cultural stuff happening, but most of them are really like inside the city, like people who used to live in the city, and it's for the city, for the people inside. Instead, this festival, it's really it really attracts people from a lot of different places. So that's amazing.
You know, there's a lot of great things you mentioned there. I guess just one thing I'll focus in on, is this idea of, underground comics and of community and all these things. And I'm wondering, you know, for yourself, just speaking for yourself, can you tell me the importance of publications, or printing press, like whether it's, Lost in Cult, Hollow Press, Zero, Taxi Gauche, what do these things mean to you as an artist?
I guess they mean everything. I mean, from a technical point of view, for now, like 5 years. I mean, 5 years that I'm working almost 80% as a digital artist. I also work in traditional, but it's like my my main technique for now it's digital, and it's how like I pay my rent and shit. So, and I'm a fan of the digital, but the problem is that the digital, if you don't do anything with it, just it's just on a screen. So I feel like um, publication, underground comics, or just making a zine for yourself. If you're working a lot more digitally, it's. I mean, at least for me, it's mandatory because you take those files, you take those bits, you take those pixels, and you give them to the real world. As soon as you print them, they're real. They're outside. You can touch it. You can feel it. I mean, for sure, it's not an original artwork, but at the same times, I'm not a collector, at least for now, so I don't care. And yeah, that's the technical aspect for which is also an emotional aspect because seeing your stuff printed for the first time, it's a really really nice sensation. Of course, you're set if you're satisfied with your work, but it's a really nice sensation. Like working, especially with music, like it happened to me quite a lot now that I'm doing like vinyls for bands, and I that is one of the most satisfying feeling ever for me because like you're putting a landmark on a record, like this record is gonna be in digitally stored but also physically stored, like in someone's house, like people are gonna feel it, touch it, and yeah, that's one of the best parts of my job, I think. Like it it's real. It's not a fucking post on Instagram, like it's something that it's made up. You can use it, you can feel it, even if it comes from a digital artwork, like you can bring it to life.
I
um yeah, yeah, no, go ahead. I think
Yeah.
I finished
No,
what I was
you're
trying to say.
you're killing it. I find that to be true as well, right? Like with just like the zines or art books or whatever you want to call them that like I've been doing in the past couple years or whatever. I mean, especially my last one, like I spent like an entire year working on that, right? And it's for me, it's I'm looking
Nice.
at it on InDesign or whatever it is, and I'm just staring at it over and over, and it becomes this weird abstract thing. But it does kind of feel to me like until you have it, in your hands, it doesn't really feel real to me. So I find
Yeah,
that's completely true as well. I just love the feeling of like holy shit, I can hold it now. Nothing
yeah,
better.
yeah, for sure. 100.
You mentioned working on vinyl and album art recently, and this is and I think about this a lot too, because, just for example, I don't know if you got a chance to read it, but I did a fanzine of my favorite album, The Downward Spiral by Nine Inch Nails, and I was able to interview Russell Mills, who did the album art for that, which was such an honor for me. Um,
Wow, nice. I saw them briefly. I saw the 9 inch nails topic.
hmm,
I didn't know who was the guy. I am admitting that 9 inch nails. I'm kind of starting to listening now.
hmm.
So I don't have a lot of knowledge on them. I know that I'm starting to really love them because, and also their album art. It's really good. It's like industrial stuff,
Yeah.
like rust and textures. I love it.
Well, and like the thing I love about that and that artwork specifically, you can't see it. It's just out of frame. It's on my mantelpiece. Funnily enough, this is actually a piece of an art book by that same artist, but whatever.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, no, dude, I fucking love Russell Mills. Anyways, I'm just kind of curious. So for me, like when I was thinking about album art, I was like, and to me, like that's definitely like one of my dreams is working on album art, like you've been able to do with so many cool artists. I'm kind of curious. Is there, if just off the top of your head, When you think about album art, is there something that comes to mind? Is there like a shining example, a perfect, oh, like just this is the amazing, I want to reach this, or what does that medium mean to you?
That's a tough question. Yes, yes, I have some ideas. But now I don't think I can recall someone specific. The thing is, I grew up. I, I take a step back in your question.
Hmm.
Um, my family is a family of musicians. So since I was born, I grew up not only listening to a lot of music, whatever. Yeah, a lot of great influence. My father and my uncle are both really rock and electronic and fans. So I had the fortune to grow up in a family which wasn't like the stereotypical Italian family that listened to a lot of pop music, which is it's not bad, of course, if you do it. But I prefer this way. So and it was the end of the 90s, so there was a lot of still physical formats. So I have hundreds of CDs lying around, and when I was little, I asked my dad to play them. So, and even before that, my dad has like a collection of vinyls. So, to since I was really little, I had, I guess, the privilege to look a lot about this cover, this physical cover. And you know, when you're a kid, actually, you also like love to take the CDs in your hands and explore them and just continuously like watching the back, the front, and then you open it and you see like sometimes the CDs have like little pamphlets, little books. And I remember as a kid like watching a lot of them, like really, really, really engaged by every cover, like the colors, maybe I'm saying something really obvious, but I think as a kid it's not. It's like you have these walls of idols, you know, because most of the CDs are like adult thematics, like mm, travel, love, whatever, war also. And you're a kid and you're just watching this stuff, and you don't get it actually, but at the same time they make you feel something, which is probably not the feeling the artist intended because you're a kid and you don't understand shit. So, to answer your question, I don't have like a specific example right now. I will probably have it if I do some research and I recall a lot of covers. I remember some covers in my life when I was like really little. There was like this Pink Floyd cover. I'm sorry, I suck at names, but it was the album with the true statue.
Oh, people,
Um,
I don't know Pink Floyd at all. People are gonna laugh at me, but I
yeah,
don't know
I
either.
know. It's like a really really beautiful cover, and I don't. It's like a photo. I think it's a photo of a sculpture. There's like these two giant faces in the front, and they are sculpted on the side, but they are like the same, but in a specular way. So they like with the eyes, they almost make another face.
Well,
For whatever reason, I remember this cover like really stayed in my brain all my life. And I'm really sorry that now I don't recall the name of the album. And probably some Pink Floyd fan will watch this video and say, "How the fuck did you don't remember the album? It's so famous." I know. I'm sorry. Um,
that is
I,
always my favorite thing is like people who
I
like,
really respect Pink Floyd, but they're not my favorite band. So I'm
yeah.
not like obsessed with them, and of course they are amazing, but I can listen to other stuff. um
So
I
I
remember that, yeah, sorry, I remember
no,
that
no, no.
I was really amazed by all the covers. Of course there's like, I can say there's some recent cover that I took really inspiration from, like there's like a Black Media album, one of the most famous. Again, I don't remember the name of the album. Um,
It's always
it's the
hard to remember
album.
in the moment, and don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's the album where there's like the track song "Welcome to Hell" and a lot of other really really good mm, good covers. And it's really abstract. Actually, it's not like illustration. It's like more graphic design, but I love it. And yeah, I'm sorry, I don't recall like a specific cover right
No, no,
now,
no.
but there are actually a lot. I'm just, my brain is not
It's
working.
so hard to pick one out. Well, I'll tell you
Yeah,
what,
it's so hard.
you mentioned, being a kid and then getting something out of these album covers. I think it sounds like CD was the prominent format in your life. And
Yeah.
if we inverse the situation, because there are going to be kids who are looking at, and again, I now this is the interview thing, right? Like I remember I got all the names of the albums you worked on. I had them down, and then as soon as I start talking, it's like those are gone. But there are
Don't
going to
worry.
be people who pick up a CD that you've been working on, and they look at it, and then to them it means whatever. And I guess I'm curious, as an artist, do you care if people know what you felt when you were making it, or do you want them to just do whatever they want with it?
No, no, I don't give a shit. I mean, making
So
a
it
record, making a record, it's for me, it's the best thing ever. It's like one of the best thing ever. In terms also of like professional work, you know what I mean? Like if a client come to me and ask me this or that, if they ask me to do a vinyl, it's one of the best stuff. And for this I usually, like, I worked also with the like like more famous band, but also with like really really small bands. And to me, it's always the same. Like I don't care if you're famous or not. Like if you're doing a vinyl and I have some spare time, and maybe you're less famous, I will ask you less money. You know what I mean? Like it's a passion. It's work. It comes from passion, because music, it's one of my biggest passions. So like giving me the chance to do your album artwork, it's, I think it's really, really, really an amazing stuff for me. Like because the like you do an artwork for the album, they publish them, and that's it. Like the that album is gonna be around forever. It's not gonna be forever. Maybe the sun is gonna explode, whatever. But like in the human world, it's gonna be like, now that everything is cataloged and digitalized, like you can pick it up even in 200 years, sorry, or whatever. So it's like a little piece of history, you know. And maybe it's gonna be like an album that are is gonna be listened like only 10 people, or maybe it's gonna be listened in 1 million, but somebody's gonna listen, like somebody's gonna watch it. So to me that feels amazing, because it's like it's not a t-shirt, you know. Sometimes I have some, I do some t-shirt from work, and it's amazing. I of course love it also, but like a vinyl, like a record, is something else. So my joy comes from that. And then there's like the joy of having a musician, an artist that um understands me a bit, and just give me enough freedom to do what I want. Of course, in a good way. Like people who trust my vision. That's the best. When a person picks it up, he can do whatever he wants from me because I already done my job. I already done. To me, that's finished, you know. And I feel like the only important part is that the artwork needs to be coherent with the music, because if it's not, then I kind of fail my task, you know, fail my work, because illustration is art, but it has also like a purpose, you know what I mean? So maybe some, I don't know if it happened, nobody told me this, but maybe some guy see the cover of one of the stuff I did, and for him or for her it doesn't match the music, then maybe I'm a bit sad because I failed my job. But other than that, they can do whatever they want. They can feel whatever they want, because mm, I don't think like it's gonna be all the same for everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Well, it's such a beautifully eloquent, way to phrase that. And so, uh, I'm just going to abandon any follow-ups because they're not going to help. You kind of got to the heart of it. Um, and so taking us on another gear here, and of course, as I'm talking, I realize my headphones are about to go out. So tell you what, I'm going to queue up the next question while I get my headphones fixed. Um,
Yes.
let's see here, and I apologize if you say something because my audio is dead for like 30 seconds, but. Um, one during, let's see here. Okay. I think we're liking it. See, this is how you can tell I'm a real pro. I had the idea to check my headphones beforehand and then forgot to. So, yeah.
Don't worry.
Anyways, um I'm wondering, can you tell me what is the importance of the grates at Milano Centrale?
The grades?
Yeah.
The grades. The grades. You're talking about the skate spot, right?
Yes.
Oh, this is a question that I didn't expect. We are changing so much topic. Milano Centrale is like one of the legendary skate spots in Italy. It's been around since, like, I think the construction, I guess, more than 20 years now. Yeah, for sure, more than 20 years. I hope so. Maybe some hardcore Milano fans then it's gonna say, "Nah, you didn't pick the year right." Whatever. I don't care. What I care is the concept. It's like one of those magical places where like a specific culture grew up and it established themselves in a place, and they never went away. So they did it in a non in an s- illegal way. Like, they didn't ask permission. Like, you took a space, and then you you make it yours. So coming from the great now, I thought you were thinking like great in a like measurable. No,
That's
it's like
English, isn't
great.
it? It's a fun language.
It's the great.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, the great. It's one of the most famous parts of the spot, which is like a grate attached under the ledge. So, as a skater, of course, the first thing you're gonna do is try to grind the ledge and do, like, go over the grate, like. And of course, everybody did that, and it became like
Like a rite of passage.
yeah, one of the main spots of the spot, like the most famous one, because there was people coming from all the world and filming their tricks. And you know how skating goes. Like, if you do a trick and you film it, and nobody ever done that before, you like write a little piece of history in the spot. Skateboarding, it works this way. Like it's an MBD, never been done, and it's like you're marking yourself in the book of the greatest of the spot. And the great became exactly that. Like people were coming and trying the hardest trick or the trick that nobody ever done, and they just, as everything goes, like the game went up and up and up and up, and then now it's like they did. I think they did almost everything in that grade. Like they started. They are now skating the grade, not only going um they're not even surpassing the grade, they're surpassing, they are finishing the ledge, and it's super fucking long. Like the grade, I think it's like 3 meters, 4 meters, and the end of the ledge is like 20 meters. Yeah, approximately. Like I'm making up this number, but I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
it's, and it's also a bit hard to skate that ledge because it's not a perfect ledge. It's not an American perfect ledge for the skaters listening to it. It's so used and it's rounded. The corner, like the coping, is so rounded for like all the years of skating it,
yeah,
and because nobody is gonna like fix the, I mean people fix the spot, but they fix just the cracks because it's like it, marble is, I don't think it's the exact word, but it's a material like marble. So you, as a private citizen, you're not gonna have you're not gonna put some new marble, you know what I mean? If you try, they'll probably arrest you. So yeah, that's it. It's like one of the most famous spots in Italy. It's like Macba in Barcelona, or Hollywood 16 in, I don't know. I think it's in LA. I don't know. I
so
hope it's in LA. Yeah.
you know, no, no, it's fine. That's the funny thing is, like, when people online criticize about something, to me it's always like, well, why don't you fucking try doing it and see how, then talk shit at
Yeah.
me. But um so many great directions to go into here, and I appreciate your candor and your openness so much. But
No
um
worries.
so let me think here. For a lot of people, I think there's probably a lot of different ways to get into skating. For a
Yeah.
lot of people, I think it's going to be games. So for some people, it's a Tony Hawk series. For people like you and me, I think it's skate. Um, can you tell me, is the worldview of Skate 2 the kind of like oppressive, like fuck you, we're gonna put caps on this, all that kind of stuff? Is that closer to the Italian skate scene, or is it Skate 3 where like you're skating by and people are like, yeah, cheering you on? Which feels closer to reality for you?
No, it's not of that. You have to understand that in Italy, skateboarding came way um, way later than in the US. And now, and I'm talking about right now. Right now, people are starting to treat it as a sport, which I actually don't believe it's a sport, but whatever. But it's my opinion. It's like I have more than 15 years of skateboarding on my shoulders, and I don't think it's a sport.
Well, what do you
But
think of it as? Do you think of it as an art form?
yeah, like art form is so pretentious. I don't think when I'm skating I'm doing some art form. Like fuck off, go get off your high goers. You're like, I feel like it's more of a dance. To me, skateboarding is dancing. Of course, it's dancing in a really strange way and acrobatic way, and also mechanical way, because you're like, yeah, to do this and that. But I feel like it's a dance to me. I know it's like a hot take maybe, But to me, it's like that. I thought about it for a long time. To me, it's not a sport. You can skateboarding as a sport, of course. Like skateboarding can be a sport, 100%. And also in Italy, there's a lot of kids that now are doing it as a sport. So they have like their parents, they are coming to the skate park, they doing skate lessons, and I mean, I'm not against it, of course, like, but it's so different from what I grew up with. Skateboarding to me was not a sport. It was actually like I hated sport. And I started skateboarding because I didn't want to go to sports, like to have soccer, to have like a fucker told me what to do. Like, no, you have to do this, you have to do that. I I just want to fuck around with my friends and do this. And then of course you get really involved, so you want to get better and better and better. But at the same time, to me, it was never that serious because it isn't, I think. It's like you're doing it for yourself. Um,
Yeah.
Now, going back to your question, Italy doesn't like skateboarders in general. Usually, they don't even understand what you're doing. Like old people are, you're just making noises, and then that pisses them off so much. Like you're making a lot of noise, and I say, "Stop it! You're making so much noises. You can't do this." I'm talking about when you go street skating, of course. Um, I got in so much fight with the old people. Also not old people, like crazy guy. But I think this is in every place on earth. Like, of course, skaters destroy a bit the ledges. They make noises, so people will start to complain. Mm, So yeah, I feel like now the situation is changing, but in Italy, it's super far back with skateboarding. Now there's like there are people building a lot of skate parks and do a lot of trainings. Parents take the kids into skate classes. This was unthinkable when I was little. Unthinkable. Like no sane parents will put them, the little kids in a skate class. And now it's normal and it's okay, of course. So it's changing, but at the same time, it's like there's not a lot of money involved. The skate scene really lacks funds. Like I have a lot of people who are really good skateboarders, but they don't have enough sponsor. They don't get a lot of money. Italy is really far behind, even in Europe. You know what I mean? Like uh, Germany, UK, even if now it's not considered Europe, but for me it's Europe, and France and Spain and Switzerland also, like and blah blah blah, etc. They're really more good in these terms. Like they have a lot of money, more money going, more events, more. Italy's a bit far behind. Of course, there's a lot of people that are trying to do it and they're doing in the right way. It's just that here's stuff. It's really slow. You know what I mean? I don't want to be pessimistic, but I don't think skateboarding will ever be much loved in Italy.
Hmm.
Mm, because yeah, it's a really specific stuff, and most of the people don't care, which is fine. I mean,
Something
they have
something
interest.
something I might focus in on there is, for example, you mentioned, and I can't confess any amazingly in-depth understanding of Italy. I know a little bit about the history, and I love Italian cinema, but I've never lived there, so I don't want to say I'm some expert, but you mentioned, for example, that your upbringing musically was different than the stereotypical Italian family, would you say? And I'm curious, do you think skateboarding kind of cuts against the, stereotypical Italian psyche or the culture of Italy?
Yeah, 100%. Because you have to understand that skateboarding, it comes from the US, and of course, like now the European scene is really big, and it has like its own culture, like its own. But let's be clear, like skateboarding was born in the US, and it's like a really Americanized thing. When you grow up and you're really little, you get passionate about skateboarding, you get Americanized. It's inevitable. I'm speaking fair decent English just because of skate videos, because I've been watching them for all my life. I'm like the early years of YouTube, and then there was like DVDs before, and before that there was cassettes, but I was really small. Um, what happens that you face like another culture, US culture, and it like you interiorize a lot of them, which I think it's good in a way, kind of bad in another way, but it helps me a lot because also for music, skate videos have amazing music selection now and in the past even more. So the music that I didn't discover thanks to my father or my uncle or my mother, because my mother also listened to a lot of beautiful music, I discovered from skate videos. Like my 50% of my music culture is from skate videos. Like also really small US artists that nobody gives a shit. Maybe I know them, and it's pure casuality. You know what I mean? And and so yes, skateboarding completely changed my childhood,
Hmm.
because there was like it was an Italian childhood, but it was like Americanized in some way. Because when I was a kid, of course, I was obsessed with skateboarding. Now I'm more chill about it. Like now I 100% of my time goes in drawing, not in skateboarding. Like skateboarding is not my way of sustain my life. I'm not a pro skater, and I never will. Um, but yeah, at the time I was obsessed, so I watched all the videos. I remember one of my friend had some Treasure magazine. And it wasn't easy to have a Treasure magazine in my hometown in Italy, because it was Italy, and it was like a shitty small town. So if you get those things together, it's like where, where are you gonna have a Treasure? So I remember there was like a maily, how do you call it, like when where you buy the newspaper.
Oh, like a subscription or something like that?
No, it was like a physical place, sorry, like the
Oh, like a
newspaper,
newsstand?
the newsstand, exactly. So there was like this newsstand when you could order Treasure if you ask the guy. And we were obsessed at the time, so I part of my childhood was 100% Americanized, and a normal kid in Italy don't have that. Don't have that. I- a little bit, yes, because Italy in general has always been obsessed with America. I think
Hmm.
if you watch closely in history, like the recent history, like from the 50s, like also in music, there's a lot of influence. But in general, like if you grew up skating in Italy, like your childhood was really different from like another kid, because you were doing something really strange, like also for the people. Like mm, normal kid, like stereotypical Italian kids. I always say stereotypical because, of course, like the situation is really more complex than that. But they usually play football. Football, as you know, is the main sport in Italy, or also like basket, um, which I really like also. Uh,
But
or
it's a different thing to be skating than playing basketball or football.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Like you were now, if you skate now and you're like 15 or something, you're a cool kid. But I remember when I started skating, I was I was like a fucking loser.
Hmm.
Like people were watching me. Some people were interested. Some people were nice to me, but some other people were like, "What are you doing? Like, what the fuck is that? Why are you wasting your time with that?" So yeah, it was really cathartic in some way.
Well, there's so many wonderful things to dive into there, and Carl, you're absolutely crushing it here because every time you talk, I got 15 more questions I can ask, but I can only pick one. But you talked about the Americanization, if that's a word. I'm trying to think,
Yeah,
like, did I
I
say
hope
that
it's a
right?
word.
No, Americanize is definitely a word, but like once I start adding Asians and suffix
Asian.
and like things to it, I'm like, oh God, am I saying it right? But you just whatever.
Let's pretend.
Um,
Let's pretend.
yeah. So, the Americanization of skateboarding culture sounds like in Europe and in Italy specifically. I'm curious if you could take just any one thing, or maybe there's multiple, please feel free, from American skate culture and take them over to Italy, and then maybe one aspect of Italian skate culture that you would really just love to see proliferate elsewhere in the States and other places in Europe.
Hmm, that's an interesting question. Um, I could take a lot of stuff from the skateboarding world in America, but especially in the US because America is a big continent. But um, I will say the first thing that I will pick is like how everyone hypes up their friends. I know it's a it's a strange thing to pick, but
No, not at all.
I always like um I always saw this difference from Italy to US in the way like the support of your friends when you're trying something, it's it's usually different. I I used to watch this video of American skateboarders, and they are like hyping their friends so much, like, "Yeah, dude, you're gonna fucking do it. Next try, let's go." And it's like that for like hours. Like, "Yeah, $100 this try," and it's like this almost like really masculine way of like, "Yeah," like, which it's not 100% positive, I think, but when you're throwing your carcass down 20 stairs, you kind of need it. You know what I mean? Like you're almost throwing your life away, so you need some support team. I'm not saying that in Italy there's no way, that like there's none, that there is, but it, uh Italians are, again, stereotypically speaking, way more warm in a way. Like we are really warm people. We are affectionate
Very
and blah
friendly.
blah.
Or oh,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, yeah.
but when it comes down to like your goals, like your objective, we are more cold. It's like if I have to paraphrase it in like more understandable terms, I feel like in the US, if a friend of yours make earn some goals like success,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's almost like you have a little bit of success, like you're really happy about it. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it's a really different type of situation. Like you guys really hype people up. You know what I mean? Like really, really, mm,
I know what you're
like
saying. Yeah.
a lot of positive interaction. Like, no, you're amazing. You're. Sometimes it gets even a bit fake. I'm sorry to say that, but sometimes it's a bit fake. But in Italy, it's quite the opposite. We are a bit more cold in this way, and I think it's a bit sad. Like it's cool to be happy about the success of your friends. So you have to hype them up. Like go for it.
We'll tell you
Of
what.
course,
Sorry,
yeah.
I apologize for cutting you off, but let me pose a
No,
hypothetical.
no.
Let's say for example that you clear the grade for the first time, or you come up with some new line, or you do an NBD. What is the reaction that you're hoping for that is not prevalent in Italy? Like how would you like people to come up to you and be like, Carlo? What would you like them to, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like the explosion of joy. Like because I closed the trick, but you saw me trying for 1 fucking hour or 2 hours or 5 days, and when I close the trick, finally, it's like you put all the effort to stay with me in that period of time. So it's almost like you did it too. So there's like an explosion of joy, but don't be fooled. Like in Italy happens, but I think it's more of when I grew up skating, the situation was a bit more cold. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I remember like I closed the trick and it was like, yeah, fuck yes, and that's it. Maybe I battled it for like 4 hours, and you're like, okay, nice. I will go home now.
Yeah, that's always such a killer, isn't it? Like I have that with like one of the reasons I started focusing more on interviews, funnily enough, was and I love any sort of art thing. I'm so stoked for. I love doing interviews. I love listening to
Yeah,
music. I love making art. Um, but like one of the things that was driving me crazy is I'd have these zines that I spent like a year working on, and then you show them to
yeah.
someone, they'd be like, "Oh, cool." And it's like, "What? No, that's not right. That's not the way you're supposed
Yeah,
to
you
do
know, I know
that."
what I mean. Yeah.
Well, again, so many things to dive into here, but I'm curious. You talked. Let me put it another way. I've heard when people talk about musical gear, for example, like Jack White of the White Stripes, probably my favorite guitarist.
Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant man. He talks about guitar as like this is my axe and I'm going into battle, and this is like he almost like thinks of it as a weapon, or at least I've heard people in that Jack White sphere talk about it that way. When you think of a skateboard, what does that mean to you? What is your relationship with that board? Is it a partner? Is it an enemy? Is it a friend? How do you think about it?
It's everything. It's everything. Sometimes it's your partner, sometimes it's your fucking enemy. Sometimes you just wanna. Sometimes I wish I would never start skating. You know what I mean? Like you have these days, like, fuck, what am I even doing? Like I probably can like go to a bar and get drunk instead, which is usually happens after.
Yeah, that's the
A lot of
traditional
skaters
European
are also
hobby, I think.
alcoholics, you know. um, it's everything. Yeah, it depends on the day, you know.
Yeah, you
Sometimes,
couldn't pick one. It's
yeah,
it's
sometimes
too too broad.
it's just a vehicle, you know. Sometimes you just bring your skate to get to point A to point B, and that's it. Sometimes it's your friend, sometimes it's your enemy. Maybe sometimes you don't have the right setup, so it feels like a stranger. And yeah, this is a really good concept. It's like a tool, but
Yeah, it changes from
It's
moment to
it's
moment.
it's, it's like an extension of your body. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
So yeah.
and again, I mean, like so many, beautiful concepts to dive into. Um,
I will
you
just
know,
bring my phone 1 second. Sorry.
please take your time.
Oh,
Um,
sorry. I'm just need to check out the hour. I think I have 20 minutes left. Is it good for you?
yeah, that's all right. Well, tell you what.
Sorry, I because here it's like 9.
Yeah, you're doing all right.
And...
It is all good. Well, hey, you're someone I could talk to for 4 hours, but well, hey,
No, man, me
we'll
too. I mean, if you want, we can do a part 2 also.
yeah, I would love to do something. It's interesting. Like with interviews, my strategy is like strategy is the wrong word, but for example, in my zine, I talked to Orno Noguchi, who's a wonderful artist. She's the frontman of Superorganism. She does paintings and different things too. And at one
Oh,
point,
nice.
she's a really cool fucking lady. Um, she mentioned at one point like, hey, we could do a second interview for YouTube or something. And I would like to do that at some point, but to me, it gets to an angle of like, I believe very strongly in when I'm talking to you, for example, I view this not that I wouldn't like to talk again, but I view it as like this is the one shot. So you better not fuck it up. You better do something good. So I think
Yeah, yeah,
when I think about it, to me it's like if I'm doing a second one with someone, I want it to be like it's like the anime thing, right? You want to get stronger before you fight your
oh,
your
yeah,
first
yeah, yeah.
rival again.
It's true.
Yeah. So it's that kind of thing, but I'm sure this is the first of many times I'll annoy you with a bunch of questions, but
Yeah, dude, because
um
it's like me. I could talk for hours. You saw now like how I am. Like I can philosophy about everything. So we can talk for hours. I just
but
need to go to dinner at some point.
no. You're doing great. I'll get you out of here in 20 minutes, no problem at all. It's gonna be great. So I have a oh gosh, I have a bunch of nerd questions here, but I'm gonna shorten it just down to one. Um, I think
Yeah, shoot it as many as you want. Maybe I can.
that
Maybe I can be more as a faster response now.
no. Hey, this is my job. Do whatever comes natural to you, and I'll roll with the punches. No
Okay.
big deal. But I think there's such a wonderful and has been for a long time cinema from Italy, and there's many examples I could name. And I just picked out three movies I just happen to have on Blu-ray. I'm curious, could you tell me, are you at all familiar with Hands Over the City by Francesco Rosi? Is this a touch point for you at all? Because like
Ah,
to me, we'll tell you what. I'm taking that as a no. Let me hit you
yeah.
with
I'm
another
not.
movie.
I'm not so cultured as it may seem.
Hey, my friend, you're crushing it out here. And this is just for me. This is like fun. This is like the part of the interview where I'm like, "Hey, have you seen my action figures?" Yeah, go ahead.
No, no, but I need to check it out because if you know it and you're from the US, it means like it's a really good film. I think.
Oh, absolutely, yeah,
Like if it from Italy, it came
yeah,
to you. That means that it's really good, right? So I need to check it
absolutely,
out.
yeah. Well, and I think something I'll say about Hands Over the City specifically is I saw that. I think I'm now 25. At the time, I think I was 20, maybe 21, something like that. And I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my career and career. I hate that term, but
Yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah, I was trying to go to school for something, and I was thinking about different things. I ended up going to school for urban planning, and the reason why I did that, at least the reason why I first started doing that was, I watched this movie and it's all about these like it's the thing you're talking about, right? Like a bunch of money in your hometown,
Yeah,
people not caring about the arts. That's exactly what the movie's about, right? It's about all these like corrupt developers who were, running the city
yeah.
council, and meanwhile they're clearing slums, and like basically it's all about the almighty dollar, you know what I mean? And like there was something about that to me that was so grimy and like so it just stuck in my craw that I was like, shit, I want to do that. And then I did get into urban planning, and then to me it basically turned out to be what was in the movie. It was extremely corrupt. So I quit like recently, but
No,
it had a huge influence on me. I think it's a phenomenal movie, but yeah.
I need to check it out for sure.
And just two other ones I'll blaze through real quick. And if you don't know them, that's completely fine. Just because you're Italian, you don't have to know every Italian movie. I don't know every
No, but
American song at
you
least.
actually picked a person that it's really uncultured about Italian movies. But let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot.
Are you familiar at all with Elio Petri's? Ooh, I'm pronouncing his name probably wrong. Investigation of a Citizen Above Suspicion with
Oh, I didn't saw it, but I know this movie. It's really classical. This is really good. They told me this is a really good movie. I have to watch it.
No,
But
that's
no,
hey.
I did.
It's something to discover. And then last one,
Also, can I say something? The title of
please.
the movie, it's really well written.
Isn't that so
Like
good?
also in Italian when you say it, it's really. I can say also this because I never saw the movie, but every time they talk about this movie to me, it's the title that resonates to me a lot. Like it's almost like a poetry. The title. It's like
Yeah.
citizen. What is in English?
Investigation of a Citizen Above Suspicion.
Yeah, it's in Italian. I think it's even better. It's like
What is
so
it in
good.
Italian?
It's like
If you don't know
let
it
me,
offhand, it's completely fine.
no, it's like above. It's translated like above every suspect, which it
Yeah,
translates
yeah, yeah.
like oltre ogni reasonabile forma di dubbio o di sospetto. Let me see. It's like a 1 second.
Yeah, yeah, no problem at all. And I guess well, you know what? I'll wait to bring out the last film. I got one more for you, but we'll save it. And then I'll get back to asking you about things instead of me just showing you my movie collection. But um
Okay.
let's see. And then just the last one here. Are you at all familiar with Gomorrah? I think that's just a wonderful film. And I have the Criterion, so it's different box art. But the 2008, like, oh God, I can't remember what they call the mob in Italy now. It's like Chimera or some shit like that, or it was when I
No,
made the movie.
this is yeah, it's a specific um, type of mafia.
Hmm.
So like Camorra, it's from a part of Italy. There's like the other part. Yeah, it's like clans, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, Gomorrah, no, I didn't see the film. I have to see it also.
Well, tell you
Um,
what. Let me flip it on you. If so, when I think of Italy, aside from Alessandro Cortini, that one of the members of Nine Inch Nails, this is going to be pretty much what I think of. But well, and now Carlo is going to be the next thing I think of. But when you think of the States, is it skate videos? Is that what comes to mind immediately? Is it music? Is it film? What jumps to mind when you think of America?
uh, um,
And you say anything you like. You're not going to get in trouble here.
well, right now, I don't have a lot of nice thing to say in terms of politics because
Hmm.
there's like a lot of stuff happening. Um, but let's let's start with the positive stuff.
Sure.
As I told you, like I feel like as an Italian, I'm all my life I was really Americanized in a also in a good way. Like I read a lot of American novels, and which one of my favorite artists writers for now. I mean, which I know it's corny as fuck to say it, but it's David Foster Wallace.
Hmm.
And 1 year ago, I read some of his book. I finally read Infinite Jest, and it was amazing. So, but also in music, in painting, in also contemporary artists right now. So I have a lot of good stuff to say about like unique people in the USA because like I feel like it produced a lot of unique and amazing people. And also what I what I feel like it's really good, but I never been there, so this is like a supposition. It's like the feeling of communities, what which we have also here. I feel like they are just different. Um,
Well, yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head beautifully there. And I guess something I do want to bring up is you mentioned community, and you talk about the difference in at least perception of, how it is in the States, whether it be in skating or art, whatever it is in versus Italy. And something I've noticed about you is, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. It seems to me that
yeah,
you have a very community, minded focus. I think part of that, to me, I honestly I would inverse it. I feel like America is a very me kind of country, and
yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like Europe generally. I can't speak for Italy. I've never been, but I feel like Europe generally is more community minded. So I guess I have the opposite perspective on it. But you know, when I think about you, I see, all of the work you're doing with other artists on their albums, putting your stuff in collections of other artists, working with people in skate videos or and everything like that. So when you think of a thriving art scene, is it the community that you think of? Because it seems like you're someone who really wants to come up with
yeah,
other people and not just as
yeah,
Carlo.
yeah, 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 100%, 100%. I mean, of course, at the end of the day, the illustrator, it's a bit of a solitary job, if it's the correct word.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you're gonna be with yourself a lot and just drawing, and you have to accept that because that's it. But at the same time, now that it's been like the most recent years of like actually um, being a bit more known and get in touch with all the people in the community. It feels so fucking good to me. Like, and bear in mind, Italy, it's also small, and when you do something that is really like a niche, I don't know how
Yeah,
to
yeah,
pronounce
niche,
it.
yeah. People
Niche,
in America don't know how to pronounce that word either. I'll tell you that.
okay, because it's like a niche job here also. Like there's not actually a lot of people doing illustration. Like, um, and I see myself now that I'm almost 28. I see myself surrounded by beautiful people, by talented people, and most of all of people who really love their job. Like they're passionate, This is, for me, it's the most important thing ever, because you're like you're doing what you're doing from love stuff, So yeah,
It sounds like to me you just want to continue being surrounded by people who love what they're doing and,
yeah,
have them keep crushing it.
100%. Yeah, and it's not even like it's this feeling doesn't comes for even not so much as a work minded, like, oh, like I have to meet this guy because maybe he's an art director and he's gonna give me the next client and that bullshit. No, 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 I'm talking about surround yourself with people who are similar to you in what they do, like the passion. And for me, it's really, really important because I feel at a like a conceptual home, like I feel part of something. Um, I think this is a positive way of the scene, the communities. Of course, there's also a lot of negative things to say, but we can stuck with the positive, which is better, I think. And I think here, especially in the underground, um, the connection are very tight because again, there's not a lot of people doing it. Of course, there's a lot of bad stories also, like tension from one people to another. Um,
Yeah.
I I don't feel like I had any of that bad stories related to me. I am a person that hate drama, so as soon as soon as some drama is starting, I get the fuck out of here. Yeah, I don't care. I don't have time for that. And but yeah, of course, a small community means a lot of love and probably also some problems, but that's part of life, I think.
Yeah. Well,
So yeah,
and speaking of time, I'm gonna get you out on time. I'm gonna ask you just two last questions, and then we'll get you out of
yeah,
here.
sure. And
Um,
I'm sorry, again, I could talk for you for hours. You know what I mean? Like,
well, thank you. And I feel exactly the same way, and it's I got through probably half my questions, but honestly, I love that because that means that I'm talking to
okay,
someone who I could really just dive into a million times, and we'd have a million different things to talk about. But
love it.
um, so just wrapping up here, two last things. Are you familiar with the Voyager Golden Record? This is just the setup for the question. I can explain what it is if not.
Can you repeat it? Sorry.
Are you familiar with the Voyager Golden Record? Here,
No, but
I'll give
again,
you.
I suck with the names.
No, no, no. It's fine. Plenty of people don't know it by name, but it was this record that NASA, the American Space Agency, sent into space in the 70s. You know
Yeah,
about
yeah.
this?
It's like a basic instruction for aliens. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Exactly
is
right.
that one?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
sir.
It's
You
like
well,
an
yeah,
engraving of a man and a woman and some basic stuff.
exactly right. Exactly right.
Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah.
and if you get a chance to read my most recent zine, I was actually able to interview the guy who like put that record together, which was so cool for me. But
Wow, really? That's so cool. I need to
if
check it out.
it's I dude, yeah, I it was such an honor to talk to him. But if Carlo was in that room, and don't think of time as a factor here, just off the top of your head, if Carlo's in the room, what's one song that you just say we absolutely need to get this out into space? The song just means that much to me.
Oh,
Because of course there's going to be 1,000, but just off the top of your head, does one jump out?
yeah. Let me think for a moment. There's
Sure.
like because in my life um I have like a lot of favorite songs, but I have like my three favorite songs or something like that. That I could like they are my favorite songs.
Yeah.
But we are talking about something that needs to represent humanity, so I don't think like I have to put my favorite songs.
Do whatever you like. Yeah. Different answers for different people. No right or wrong. And I
This
could tell
is
you mine, or I could tell you what some other people have said if you'd like. Or hey, if you don't want I
no, no,
don't know
no.
the
I
gun to
can
your
I
head.
can pick one. I can pick one. Like the first one I thought, which is one of my favorite song. It's not like my favorite song. Like the top one. It's like maybe a tenth. But I actually started this song a bit because whatever I play some instruments in also in my life, and I found this song really beautiful, and it's so famous that maybe it's a bit like how do you say it? You take it for granted when
Mm-hmm.
a song is really famous, you take it for granted, like because you listen to it like so many times. But for me, Riders on the Storm by the Doors, it's one of the most beautiful song ever written and played. Which again, it's really famous,
No, I think that's great.
but like
Well,
it's it's perfect. It's like it's so on another level. And I remember like seeing the interview with Ray Manzarek, which is like the keyboard artist
mm,
of the Doors, which I think recently passed away. Rest in peace. I think it was a legend, and he was explaining like how he came with the like electronic piano part, which to me it's one of the most beautiful aspect of the song. And I will choose that for now. Maybe if you ask me this question like one day after, I'm gonna came with another song. And
yeah.
but yeah,
Well, tell you what, I just got one more question for you before we can get you off to dinner here, and it's something I ask all my interviewees,
Yeah,
and it's
sure.
just I wonder if you could tell me what kind of art that you think the world needs more of right now.
Oh wow. Well made stuff. Whatever. It needs quality. You know what I mean? It needs fucking quality. It's not a type of art. Whatever. You can do whatever you want. But you have to sit there, take your time, and don't have the rush to just put it out there. I mean, of course, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with sharing your art. I think it's beautiful. I'm just saying, like, we are now a society of content. We are driving by content, you know. So it's important to remember that it takes time to do quality stuff. It needs time. Like, we are not going faster than ever, like blah 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 blah, blah. But even in the workplace, like commissions, like, we need it in 3 days, we need it in 2 days. Like, quality, whatever you're doing, a painting, a sculpture, um it takes some times, you know. And so I wouldn't say like there's rather like more a better medium than another right now, but it needs more quality. And not only it needs more quality, it needs also like the proper place to present them, because right now we see everything in social media, but social media are not meant to show art. It's if you think about it, it's like a secondary option. Like, Instagram wasn't born to be like an art platform, but now we do it. Now we use it every day. I use it too. Like, it's one of my main. No, it's my only stuff actually, because I don't have a website. I'm building it now, but I'm lazy and so. Um,
Yeah, I think that's absolutely beautiful. Well, I guess
but yeah, also like going in person and watch the stuff. Like, if you can, of course. If you can, just go out of your home and see it in with your eyes. And yeah, this is a tough question. I mean, I could talk about this for a lot. This was my easy answer. Okay, that like that's probably a more articulate and difficult answer, but because what the world needs actually right now, I think it's empathy and understanding. Be patient of understanding something, because now we are so eager and quick to jump into conclusion about, oh yeah, this is this and this is that. But to understand something, you need to, again, exactly like an art piece, like in history, you understand history the time you're like actually studying. You know what I mean? Like, you starting to understand why this happened, why this happened, why this happened. And if you don't have that culture, mm, tomorrow something's gonna happen and you completely misunderstand them. And of course, like, there's also media that is telling you what to think, but you need to have like a ground base of, like, what happened before. And this is, I think, is the same with art. Like, you need to have a ground base of yourself, what you like, what you want to do, and a little bit of self-reflection to have more quality in your work. So, like, take your time and do your stuff. Don't rush it, because now it seems like everyone needs to be famous like at 25. Like, I will be drawing until I'm dead. You know what I mean? Like, I have so many years of doing great stuff. There's no rush. There's no rush. I mean, of course, hoping to not if a truck uh,
Yeah, I know you're going with
then
that.
yeah, then I'm fucked. Okay, but let's say I live until my 70, then for I will draw or do my stuff for all my life. So there's like a lot of time to do it. So just take our time and quality. Yeah, quality for me
I think
is.
I think that's absolutely beautiful, Carlo. And I've been trying to think of ways to like end or outro my interview. I haven't figured it out, so I'll just say end of interview, and then I'll end the YouTube video there.